So lesson 4F, rational word problems. Problem 1. Anne and Maria play tennis almost every weekend. So far, Anne has won 12 of 20 matches. How many matches will Anne have to win in a row to improve her winning percentage to 75%? Did anybody get an answer already? Let's see. Let's do it like this. So far, what's her winning percentage? Let's go with so far. What's her winning percentage? You guys all got calculators? Come up and get a calculator. You're going to do what? 12 out of 20? That's going to equal to 60%. But what is it that we want? We or she or in the problem, we want, what do we want? We want 75%. Yes? So, yeah, 75%. So, what's going to happen is it's saying how many matches in a row she needs to so what the bottom represents, what does the bottom represent here? What does the bottom here represent? Total matches, total matches. And what does the top represent? So she won 12 out of 20. So what we're going to do here is we're going to do it, set it up like this. So far, it's 12 out of 20. But however many games you're going to add, however many X games she's going to play, she better what? She better win them, no? Because it's in a row. Does that make sense or not make sense? Yes or no? If X is 1, that'll be 21, and that make it 12 plus 1 is 13. Yes? Makes sense, no? The setup. So now let's go ahead and work it out. So 75% is what? Isn't that what is that in fraction form? Is that 3/4? Let's go with 3/4. Cross multiply, because we already did equations. Rational equations is going to cross multiply right here. So what is that going to be if we cross multiply? That'll be what? 4 times 20 is 80, yes? And 4 times x is 4x. Let's do it like that.
Isn't it 12 plus x?
Say what?
Isn't it 12 plus x?
Oh, on the top? Thank you. So that makes this what? 48? And then the other way is going to go what? What's the other way going to be? What is 60? 60 plus what? 3x? And then what's going to happen here? To move it around, no? If we move this way, it'll make it x, and move that over there will be what? Yes? Can we do this quickly in our heads? This is a simple two-step equation. Move that over, that'll make it x, no? And then move that over that and make it 12, wouldn't it? Yes? So x is equal to 12. Now, is this true? Is this true? Let's see if it's true. If we plug it in, what would it be then? What would it be 12 plus 12? Does that make it 24? And what's 20 plus 12? 32? Go ahead and divide 24 by 32. What is that? So we did get it right, no? Good enough. There are other ways to working these problems out. But since this is a rational unit, I will make them set them up like this as fractions. That's what we're going to do today. So x equals 12 games in a row she needs to win. Let's go to problem number 2. You have 10 liters of a juice blend that is 60% juice. You have 10 liters. 60% pure juice. How many liters of pure juice need to be added in order to make a blend that is 75% pure juice? This is basically the same problem as number one, except it's talking about juice concentration here. So if we do it like we did it we did problem number one, so we're gonna set up where so far what is equal to. So far we have what? What goes on the right side? 60%. So we have 60%, no? So far we have something equals 60%. What is that equals 60%? Maybe we can say total amount of juice, total juice, or total, and then pure, total and pure juice blend. All right, that's what we really need to know. So what goes at the bottom then? 10 liters. 10 liters. Now what goes on top? 6. Why is it 6? 60% of it is so yeah. What's 60% of 10? That's the question. 60% of 10. 60% of, so a lot of you guys are already saying it's 6, which it is correct. Would you agree that 60% is also saying 0.6? Yes or no? Yes. And you know what of means in mathematics? Multiplication. So 0.6 times 10. And 0.6 times 10, it is 6. Okay. So far, this is the setup. But what we want is, what do we want? 75%? Which, can I already say 3 out of 4? I'm going to go ahead and do 75% is 3 out of 4. And so now, what do we write down on the left side here? 6 over 10, which 6 over 10. And we're going to add what? An X amount of pure juice, no? So we're only adding pure juice. So whatever X liter amount is what we're going to put at the top. And it is basically exactly the same problem as 1. Let's cross multiply and solve. Let's go ahead and do that quick. So multiply like this. 4 times 6, 24. 4 times x is 4x. 10 times 3 is 30. 3 times x is 3x. And you can do this again quickly in your head. Move that 3x over this way, move that over. X equals what? 6. Yes? Yes? 6 liters. Let's see, hold on here. let me show you guys another way. This is the section of rationals, but there's another way of doing this. I don't know what you did in Algebra 1, but there's another way of doing this. What's the other way of doing this? Anybody see a different way of doing this? If we set it up like this, it's what? 60% of 60% of. I'm not even going to try doing it the other way. You know what? Because then it gets confusing. I'm just going to stick to this way. All right? So this is my method of doing this, and that's the way we're going to just do it because it's the rationals unit. All right? Good enough. Let's go. Number 3. So we're going to make a fraction in some way of this. How much of a 30% acid solution must you add to 4 liters of a 10% acid solution to create a mixture that is 22% acid? If we continue with that same way of doing this, or so far and what we want, yeah, if we continue with that same theme, well, we don't have this information on the right. We can get it. What goes on the left then? What goes at the bottom? Isn't it 4? This is what we have so far, don't we? Yes? So what goes at the bottom? 4, because that's the total, no? And then this is pure whatever, no? What is this? Acid? How much is the pure acid then? 10%? 10% of 4? So what is 10% of 4? Get a calculator. I already told you guys how that goes, no? 10% of 4. So what's that? 10% is what? 0.1? Yes? 0.1 times what? 4? So what is that going to give you? Is it 0.4? 0.4? What is 0.4 divided by 4? What is 0.4 divided by 4? Huh? What is it? 0.1? So far we got what? Something that's 10%? We did have it. All right. So what is it that we want? What is it we want? A solution that is what? 22%? Yes? For right now, let me just leave it as 22%, no? All right. What is it that we have so far here? We got what? A total amount of 4, no? And then what goes on top? 0.4. Yes? Yes. we're gonna add what? We're gonna add what? How much of a 30% solution, no? So we're gonna add an X amount of that. Because this is the total, again, and this is pure. Is it acid? Yes. So we're gonna add an X amount of this total, no? Of this one. Now, the problem is what goes on top right here. How much of this is pure? What is it? 30% of it. So how do I write that down? Is that plus what? 0.3 and X? Yes or no? That makes sense, no? Yeah, that makes sense. So let's go ahead and cross multiply. How can I rewrite 22% as a fraction again? What is 22% as a fraction? Could we just say 22 over 100? Yes? Let me change that already. All right, let's go ahead and cross multiply. 4, no, is that 0.4? Yes, 0.4. So what's 0.4 times 100? You guys got calculators? Help me out. What is it 40? 40? 40 and then what? 0.3x, it'll be up. Is that 30? All right. Then 4 times 22 is what? 88? And then what? 22 times x is 22x? Move it around, move it around. What is that? Is that going to be 8x? Equals what? 48. X equals what? 6. Is that good? Good? Problem number 4. Let's go to problem number 4. How much of a 30% access must you add to an 18% acid solution to get 21%? Yeah, let's give it 5 minutes. Why don't you guys see if you can figure it out? Yeah, this method should work for this as well. Do we really even need that so far? Can we just go to what we want? What is it that we want? What do we want? A solution that is what? 21%? And so far goes right here then. So far we have what? How much do we have? Something right now, how much of a 30%? Is this 300 go down here? No, no, you go. Well, hold on, hold on. Because we have nothing so far. How much of a 30% asset solution? How much of a 30% asset solution must you add to an 18? It can't be 300 because that's the total. Let's go like this. Let's go like this. We don't. What we do know is we know the total at the end is 300 of this added to this, the 30 and the 18. If we just say that an X amount of the of the 30, let's go with the next amount of 30. So the next amount of 30, and this is let's go at the bottom total. An X amount of the 30. This is the 30%. Then what goes on top for this one, for this situation? 0.3x, no? Yes or no? That makes sense, doesn't it? But then what would be the total for the other one that we're going to do? The other one's going to be what? The 18%? No, yes, the 18%. How much? Well, how much would this one be then? Because these two added up have to equal to what? Pretty much we could say x plus y, no? X plus, if you want to get another variable, x plus y has to equal to 300, yes or no? So then what would y be? Y would be what? Minus x. Y would be what? 300 minus x? Makes sense, no? We could have just gone, what, 300 minus x, no? Because whatever this is, subtract that from the total, no? Yes, yes, yes. So what goes on top? Plus what? Plus 0.18 times what? Isn't it 300 minus x? Times whatever that amount is, no? All right, let's continue. Yeah, this should be good. So doesn't right here that minus x and the x will cancel out right here, everybody? Yes? Because isn't it x plus negative x cancel out? Yes? So on top it will be what? 0.3x plus, help me out with the calculator. What's 0.18 times 300? You guys got calculators? 240? 54. 54 and then minus what? 0.18x? So minus 0.18x? And at the bottom is going to be what? The x minus x cancel. Oh, the whole thing over 300, no? And 21%? It's 21 over what? Over 100? All right, what can we do here? On top, what's 0.3 times, 0.3 minus 0.18x? Because these are like terms, no? So what's that going to be? These two. 0.3x minus 0.18x, is that what? It's not negative. Isn't that 0.12? Just positive 0.12x? Yes? Plus 54? Oh, yeah, there. Plus 54 over 300 is equal to what? Look, can we have a common denominator right now? Can we do it as a common denominator? If this one has 300, what must this one multiply by to get 300 also? Remember we did this already? So we can cross out the bottom? Because we would have a common denominator. Times it by what? Top and bottom by 3. Then I will get what? 63 on top? Over what? Over 300, which now I can cross out the bottom, yes? Yes? And now I can just solve this let me go over here. So it would be what? 0.12x plus 54 equals what? 63. Now what do I do? Minus 54? Minus 54, and what is that? X. Is that 9? No. Is that 9? Divide both sides by 0.12? What is that? 9 divided by 0.12. 75? 75? I mean, that's just algebra. The setup was the most important thing right here. This one right here. There's another way of doing this, but this is a rational unit, so I'm not even going to bring it up. But there is another probably easier way to do it. Depends on what you consider easier. I mean, it still turned out to be the same there. So how much of a 30%? So which one did we say X was? X is what? X was what? The 30%, wasn't it? It was a 30%. So 75 liters of what? Of the 30% solution? And what? 225 liters of the what? Let's go to number 5. Problem number 5, working together, it takes Abel, Ray, and Jose 2 hours to paint one room. When Abel is working alone, he can paint one room in 6 hours. When Ray works alone, he can paint a room in 4 hours. Determine how long it would take Jose to paint one room on his own. All right, so this one is, we're going to do it completely different than all the other ones we just did. So what can we say? What can we say about together? All of them. That they're lazy? What is it? What is it? Determine how long it would take Jose. No, where to go? Working together takes Abel, Ray, Jose 2 hours to paint one room. So how do I write this down? How should I write this down? 2 hours to paint one room. Can I say one room takes 2 hours? Should I go like that? Or maybe it takes 2 hours? And then all of them together would be, well, individually, let's break it down individually, no? Abe was working alone, he can do what? Abel can do what? 1 in what? 6 hours? Ray? 1 in 4? And then Jose is the one we're trying to get, no? 1 over X if you wanted to. What's the least common, what's that? What is that called? The common denominator. What's the common denominator? What is the least common multiple? What number do all these numbers go into? These numbers at the bottom. The smallest number they all go into is what? 12, isn't it? Yes. So what do I multiply Abel by here? 2, what you do at the bottom, you do at the top. Ray, multiply by what? And Jose, we gotta multiply by. And together I gotta multiply by what? 6. Well, if I wanted to cross the whole thing down out right now, what else do I need to do? We need to have a common denominator throughout. So what must I do? Doesn't this one have an extra x here? So I need to multiply this by what? Top and bottom by what? By x. This one by x. This one already has x. This one by x. Now all of them are 12x, 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 12x. Now I can cancel, cross off. So this is going to be what? 2x plus what? 3x plus 2 equals what? Equals what? 6x? Did something go wrong here? Oh, look, it's 12, not 2. Now what do we do? 2x and 3x is what? 5x? Now what do we do? Minus, so x equals what? X equals 12, you know? Yes? Now that's the lazy person here, you see? 12L. 12, well, that's for he's the loser now. 12 hours. Let's read this out loud. Who's that in the back? Read that out loud.
You are not willing to learn. No one can help you. You are determined to learn. No one can stop you.
That is deep.